Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing well. I'm happy to be here. And you may notice that I'm back to using the red background. I just want to try it again. I had a comment from one of my followers, Cindy, who said that she thought that the red background works well and shows up much better. So I'd like to have your comments. Let me know what you think, rather than my old pizza boxes. I do want to say that if you're new to my channel, I do take my time with my videos. They are good for both beginners and experienced tanglers. I don't add music. I don't speed up my videos, and hope you enjoy them. Okay, so for this week and every week, I try to find something that I really enjoy doing in order to find a video to show you guys. And this week, the Project Pack 20 videos came out. And what they did was they showed, and I'm going to show you this first. This is basically a page out of my Tangle a Day calendar. And so Rick did Hollis, which is this, with Moonpie, and they ended up adding a whole lot of auras and around his patterns and to fill that up. And the focus was on blossoming tangles. And I never thought about Hollis being a blossoming type tangle. And during the video, they mentioned that possibly, rather than just these plain ends, that you could add other things to it. So here's what I did this morning. I just had so much fun with it, and I wanted to show this to you. And by the way, a couple of weeks ago, I did a video showing this pattern, and Sharon Vaughn, who is the Irish Tangler, she's also a CZT, suggested that I name it Shamrukas, which I did. And I put the step outs on Instagram and Facebook, and the response was just so awesome. So if you look in the community part of my YouTube channel, you can find the step outs. But I also have the video that I did. Anyway, this is what we're going to do today. Here are tags you can use if you want to post the work that you're going to do. So we're going to use a 3.5-inch tile, a Micron 01. This is my favorite blending stump, and a Zentangle graphite pencil. You can use any supplies that you have on hand. You don't have to have those specific things. You can even use scrap paper. Okay, so what we're going to do, and I've already lost. Okay, so we're going to do Hollis, and this is Moonpie. Okay, that's what Rick did in the video. But instead, I'm not going to add anything like Moonpie, but we're going to add Mooka and poke leaf and poke root and Zinger. And I just really enjoyed doing that this morning, and I hope that you enjoy it also. I'm going to start on scrap paper because there's a trick to doing Hollis that I learned the hard way. When I first started trying to do it, it was very confusing. So it starts with just, we're going to make a curve, and you always come back in on itself, okay? And then aura the inside of that curve, okay? So that, to me, is the single most important thing to remember about Hollis. So the next thing you do is you take off from the side. I'm going to the left. And now I'm going to curve back inside on that little curve and come back down. Okay? So if I were to go out this way and curve around, if I come back this way, this one should work. Okay, but ideally, you really want it to come back into the center. So let's do that again. Let's come off and make the curve. Come back around and come back in. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So let's come off of this one, make a curve, and then come back toward the line that you made and come back down. And that's how a Hollis should work. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it on a tile. I had a phone call that tried to come through. Hopefully that didn't mess up the video. I put my phone on do not disturb, but sometimes calls still come back in. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our 4 corner dots. And I do appreciate Zentangle. I appreciate the project packs and how much time and effort they put into that. The project packs are so much fun. Now, I didn't order it this time. I decided I would try to use the supplies that I have on hand, and I think it's going to be just fine. Okay, so we start with gratitude and appreciation and our 4 corner dots. And then we won't necessarily use this border, but I'm going to go ahead and put one on. Your borders don't have to be straight. You can do any kind of curves, whatever you want. And we could end up putting a border on this, but we don't have to. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is Hollis. And I'm going to start it the same way that Rick did. And that's just by somewhere in the center, because we are making this a blossom, okay? And blossom tangles start in the center and then they can just keep going out and out. So I'm going to come around and then I'm going to make my line go back in toward the line I started with, aura, and come back down. Okay? And one thing I forgot to mention is what I'm going to change on this, and I didn't do it on that first, but it's okay, is as I come back around, I'm going to make kind of just a straight line instead of that curved line, and you'll see why. And then I'm just going to come back down there. Now, at the end of this, instead of just leaving it like this, we're going to start adding things at the end. And you don't have to start right now, but I'm just going to show you that I'm going to add Rixty at the end here. And that's why I did the end the way that I did. So Rixty, you just put a little triangle on each side and then aura that. Okay, and we can still put Rixty on this one. Let's just go straight across. Put our little hat on there. Come back down. Fill that in. Turn your tile. Keep your hand comfortable. And I usually, rather than these straight ends, add a little bit of a rounded curve on my Rixty. Okay, so there's our first couple of Hollis vine, I guess you could call it. Let's add another one here. So we're going to come off, like this, say, kind of a takeoff curve. Come to the end, we're going to make it flat. And come back around, aura, and come back in. Okay, so we're going to add a couple of these, and then we'll decide what to put on the ends. Curve around, let's put a flat end, and then just come back down. And you can see that mine aren't perfect little vines, but it's fine. It's okay. Let's say here, we're going to put a curve, and let's put a poke root. Okay, and on this one, let's add a little curve and put poke leaf. You can just keep coming off of any of these, okay, to add another little curve. So let's come off of this one and come in just a little bit. You don't have to come in much. Put your little curve, come around and back down to the center. And let's make this one another Rixty. And other than my practice on that this morning, I don't have this tile planned. Just go with whatever comes to mind. Okay, we can come off of this one. And on this one, let's add Mooka at the end. And then come back down. I just think it's really fun to add this variety like this. Okay, let's add another one here. Flat end. And come back. Okay. And on this one, I'm going to add Zinger. Okay. Sorry, I think I was almost getting off the screen. And then you can still, with the Rixty, if you've done Rixty before, you can come off of Rixty and just keep making more of those. But instead of that, let's come off the very center here and come around just like we were doing. Make our flat end. And come back down. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And come around. Leave enough room in here for whatever you decide to put on there. Come back around. And come back up to the top. Okay? For this one, let's see. It's a little sloppy, but it's okay. Let's add another poke root. Since there's not a lot of room in here, let's add another Zinger. I love Zingers. Okay. Now, before I do any more here, let me show you how to come off of this. And if you watch the project pack videos, you probably already know how to do it. But I want this to come out in this direction now. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. Okay. So we want to come off that center line because I'm going to go in this direction. So let's come off of that and bring a curve around, cut our flat end, and come back down. And we're going to meet that first line. Just come up slowly, and you won't even be able to see that it was a line that you attached to. Same thing on this side. We're going to come off the center. You can come up as high and wide as you want. Okay, so let's go up kind of high on this one. Flat end. And come back around, and we're going to meet up with that first line. Okay, so now we've extended this blossom to come in this direction. We can decide what kind of end we want to put on this one. Let's add another poke root. Poke leaf. So I'm going to make this curved at the top. And add poke leaf. Now we have something to build on. Let's come off of this edge. Come around. Remember, we're going to curve back into the inside. Flat end. Come around. I don't know if I mentioned my son is working on wood outside my craft room. So if you hear loud noise, that's him cutting wood. Okay, I'm going to put another poke root here. And you can see we have all kinds of areas that we can build on. I think I want to put a Mooka here. Come around. There's our Mooka. And come back down. Off of this side, we could do just a short one here. Come back around, just take your time. You know, once I started this morning, I filled up that spot that I had on my Tangle a Day calendar. Let's put another Rixty over here, since that's what we started with. Just go with whatever you enjoy. When I'm trying to decide on a video to do, I always want to find something that I have really enjoyed. We could do, let's just go ahead and do another Rixty here. Make this tile yours. Just look at the ideas that I'm giving you and then just have fun with it. Okay, and when I finish at the end of adding Rixty, one of the things that you can do is just put a little curve and come back and end it like that. Okay. We have this part right here where we could come off. we come off of this one. I didn't put anything on that one. How about that? Let's come over here, put a curved line, and add poke leaf. And come off of this side and add something. Trying to remember to always put a flat end. But if you make a curved end like that, it's okay too. I'm going to put another Rixty here. And this time, coming off of Rixty, I like to put Zinger. Zinger is one of my favorite patterns. I see that I didn't make that line neat, so I'm going to go ahead and extend that a little bit. Sorry. So all I did was add Zinger there and make my lines neat, which is one of the things that I have an issue with, is that I don't always make my lines meet where they should. Come around this way. There's no certain way these lines have to be, but I'm trying to bring something out this direction so I can start adding things there. Okay, let's add poke root here. We still have room here to add something. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have zoomed in. Let's do another poke leaf. Okay. And now we have this one where we can come around. And I'm going to put another Mooka here. Come back around on this one. And again, this is what I'm talking about. I don't always make my lines meet like they should. Okay. I'm going to put a Rixty here. And see, my tip isn't perfect. I don't do perfect. That's why my channel is named Not Perfect Zen. I just enjoy the Zen part of Zentangle. I always have. That's what attracted me to it. Okay, there's my fun Rixty end. Okay, if I wanted to put something in there, how would I get it in there? Let's go this way. Bring a little end. Come back around. Put that down. And let's do a zinger there. Okay. And that gives you something. If you wanted to, just keep adding in here, you can. Let's work on this little area. Coming around, curve, come back in toward the inside of that, come back around. And on this one, let's add Rixty again. The nice thing about Rixty is the dark part, and it adds some drama. And then add your little aura on the outside. You could add just little ones here to come back down. This is going to be Zinger. Okay, let's see what we think. I'm going to do this direction and put something here. They don't have to be too big. Come around this way. Just look at yours and see what you can add. Okay. So let's just add a little bit of shading. So I have my graphite pencil. Any pencil will do. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shading, a little bit of graphite under these, the poke root, poke leaf, and zinger. Just turn your tile as needed. Okay, and then use your Portion or blending stump and come in and just soften that a little bit. Kind of shows a shadow under where the stem attaches. I've been working more on my sketchbooks lately, and unfortunately they are spiral bound, and I like the sketchbooks, but I don't like putting my hand on that spiral area. So I've gotten to where I like the 3.5-inch tiles more again. Okay, so on these poke roots and mookas, I'm just going to add just a little bit of graphite on one side. This, you don't have to shade the whole thing, just a little line gives it just a little bit of dimension. And especially on the Mooka, it makes it look curved. Okay, so I'm just going to keep turning this. Poke leaf, I just put one on one side. I am not an expert on shading by any means, but just adding something helps. Don't worry about it. Don't judge yourself harshly. Just have fun with your art. Okay, so I'm just softening what I put down. And I still have plenty of graphite on my blending stump, so I don't have to keep adding it if I find a place that I missed. Okay, I think I got all of them. The other thing that I do is on Zinger is to just add graphite to one side. So on these, I'm just going to add it on the left side. Not that it matters, but just being consistent with those. Okay. And again, just soften that a little bit. And that gives you a shadow on one side and light on the other, and helps it look more dimensional, not just flat on the page. Okay, so just a very simple tile. And if you do it in a scrapbook or something, like the way I did it here, come back in a little bit. Okay, this one, I tell you, I just had so much fun with that, making my vines go higher. So maybe, you know, do this on a bigger sheet of paper or even on a Zendala, like they did for the Project Pat 20 Day 2 was when Rick did his. And I didn't even do any shading on this one. I just had so much fun with it that I just kept going. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you wanted to, you could, you know, put a line around here and actually do a border. But I think I'm just going to leave mine open, but I am going to add my chalk. Let's put it down here. Let's go ahead and put it in the corner. You might have other ends to put on Hollis that you like. Again, just have fun with it. Make it a play day with your tile. All right, thank you again. And again, if you share your tiles, this is the easiest way for me to find things that you've done if you're putting it on Instagram. And in Facebook, you can tag me as Barbara Langston, CZT. There we go. And again, that was Hollis, Zinger, Mooka, and Poke Leaf. All right, all by Zentangle. Thank you again for joining me. I would ask you to please click the like button if you liked this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe and tell your friends about my channel. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I hope you'll join me next time too. Bye.